Okay, this is a video for NCBM 0302. My name is Jaime P. Lepe, and this video is about Unit 3, Part 1, Terminology. Okay, so in this section, we introduce the terminologies. So, what terminology do we use in this course, and also mathematics in particular? Well, some of the terminology that we use are variables, okay? And variables are symbols that stand for an unknown quantity. They're often represented by a letter like X, Y, or Z. Other terminology we use are coefficients. Sometimes a variable can be multiplied by a number, and so this number is called the coefficient of the variable. So, for example, the coefficient of 3 times the variable x will be the number 3. We also have terms, okay? So terms are single numbers or variables and numbers connected by a multiplication. So minus 4, 6 times x, and x squared, these are all terms, okay? Then we have expressions, and so groups of terms connected by addition and subtraction is what we would call an expression. And so 2x squared minus 5, example of an expression. Then we have like terms, okay? So two terms whose variables and their exponents are the same. So 3 times x raised to the 4 and 7 times x raised to the 4 are like terms, okay? The term 3 times x raised to the 4 and then the term 7 times x raised to the 5, these are not like terms because the exponents are different, okay? And let's take a look at the examples. So in the example part A, it asks us to identify the variables, coefficients, and terms in the following expressions, and then it asks us to see if any of the terms will be like terms, okay? So in part A, we have the expression is 4 times x minus 7 plus 11x plus 6, okay? So the first thing we'll do here is we'll go ahead and identify the variables. Okay. So the variables here in this expression, there's only one, and that's going to be variable x. Okay. Then it wants us to identify the coefficients, and so what I'll do here, just erase that one. Coefficients. Okay. So I'm going to use an abbreviation here for coefficients. And again, the coefficients, these are actually kind of easy. Just look for the numbers, okay? So we have the number 4, we have the number minus 7, we have the number 11, and we have the number 6, okay? And so these are the coefficients for the expression, okay? And the next thing that we're looking for will be the terms, okay? And so what are the terms here? Okay. And so the terms, you can think about it as all the individual pieces of the expression, okay? So for example, 4 times x is a term, minus 7 is a term, 11x is a term, and then the number positive 6 at the very end. This is also a term. Okay, and then they ask us to see if any of the terms are like terms, okay, and yes, the term 4x and the term 11x, I'll just go ahead and put a box around them. Those will be the like terms, okay, and yeah, this is example part A for the expression. Again, we identified the variables, coefficients, and terms in the expressions, and we also identified the like terms, okay? And now let's take a look at part B. We'll do the same thing, okay? So in part B, we'll go ahead and identify the variables first, and okay, so again, I'll use abbreviation for variables. So the variables here, that's just going to be variable x, okay? X raised to the square, x raised to the 3, so that appears here and appears here, x raised to the 3 also appears here. It's still the variable x, but it's the variable x raised to the exponent, but nevertheless, it doesn't mean that it's its own variable. Okay, we still have an expression that has written in terms partially with the variable x. Okay, and the next thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and identify the coefficients. Okay, so again, I'm going to use abbreviation here for the coefficients. And again, the coefficients, those are pretty easy. Just create a list of the numbers that you see in the expression. So starting from the beginning, we have the number 2, we have the number 5, we have the number -3, then we have the 4, then we have the 6, then we have the -7, and then at the very end, I'm going to go ahead and circle it. Okay. We have the number 6, positive 6, but since a positive 6 already appears in our list, we don't need to rewrite the positive 6 again. Okay. And so these numbers here represent the coefficients for the expression. Okay. And now let's go ahead and identify the terms. Okay. And again, the terms, it's just the individual pieces. Okay. Let me clean this up here. Okay. So the terms. Okay, so the first term we'll go after, that'll be the 2x squared. We have the positive 5. We have a minus 3x. Number 4. 6x. Minus 7x squared. I ran out of space here. At the end, the very last term, 6 times x raised to the 3. Okay, so these are going to be the terms of the expression, and then we'll look to see if we can collect up any like terms. Okay, so the term 2x squared, I'm going to look for another term that at least has the x squared part. Again, the coefficients don't have to be exactly the same, and so in our list, we can notice that minus 7x squared, this is a like term for 2x squared. Okay, yeah, let's go for another one. So the number 5. Okay, so what I want to do here is again to go through the list and see if I can identify another number term, in this case that's just by itself, no variable x here. That's going to be the positive 4. Okay, and then let's move to the minus 3x, and we're looking for a term that involves a variable x raised to the 1 just by itself, and that's going to be the 6 times x. Okay, so this term is like this one, and then this term here, the 4, is like this one. Okay, and then for the very last part, we just have the 6 times x raised to the 3. There's no other terms that match up to this because we don't have anything else that is some number, coefficient, so to speak, times variable x raised to the exponent 3. Okay, so for this part B, we identified the variables, coefficients, and the terms, and then we went back through our list to see if any of the terms were like terms. And this is the video for Unit 3, Section 1.